What was the actual IUI process like for you guys?
It overall was pretty simple. I didn't really know what to expect. They walked me through it very well. My doctor did. So we live about 5 hours from our fertility clinic.
I forgot about that.
Yes. So that added a little extra planning and really
Yeah.
living by the calendar. But my first cycle, I did use Clomid for the cycle day 3 through 7. And then we did a trigger shot after my ultrasound on day 12. So, they did the ultrasound. Then my doctor looked at it, said, okay, we're going to wait 2 days. Well, actually, with my first cycle, I didn't even do the trigger shot because my eggs were not growing. And they called and just said, it's not worth you spending the money because it's probably not going to happen. We'll try again next cycle.
Okay.
So then the second one, they started me on letrozole, which I had much better success with. Luckily, I didn't really have some of the side effects that a lot of women have on Clomid and Letrozole. I didn't feel like I did. And we did the same process with that. Overall, I was very nervous about the trigger shot just because I'd never given myself a shot before. And the first time it was just like adrenaline because they called me at school. I was at work and they said, you need to go take your trigger shot in 30 minutes and then you need to be here tomorrow. And I said, okay, I will go home. And it just all happened. I did the trigger shot. We jumped in the car that night, drove the 5 hours, spent the night, did the IUI and came home.
Yeah.
And so that also wasn't successful. Then they kept me with the letrozole and then they eventually added follistim injections, which actually was successful with that. So I responded really well to that. And I'd figured out the injections by then. So it seemed like it was a piece of cake. My husband, on the other hand, he said, I can't give you the shot. You have to do that to yourself. And finally by it was like my 4th one with the injections, I said, you need to come be a part of this. Like, I'm not expecting you to like give me the shot, but you are just as involved in this as I am. And we both need to be there when we do it. And he was on board with that.
Oh, that's good.
So overall, the process, it was pretty simple. They laid it out for me very well with my, the letrozole, the injections. They gave me lots of different resources on how to give yourself injections. They were pretty good about, calling after the ultrasounds to give me results pretty quickly. And not everyone was as fast paced as the first one. Yeah. Sometimes it would be, okay, in 2 days, you need to be here. So it was overall, I thought it was an easy process.
Yeah. And that's good that they were at least not after the first one, a little bit more inept to give you like some time to plan, given that you're so far away. I totally forgot that. I knew that and I forgot when you said that. I was like, oh my gosh, it just adds such another layer of complication to needing to be somewhere. And I know from working with clients here, sometimes you'll go to the clinic and they're like, oh, come back. You're not quite ready. Come back tomorrow. And like, they can't really do that with you guys. Right. So there's like that other layer of complexity there too.
Yeah, it definitely adds to it.
Okay. So you go through, you do the letrozole, they tell you to do the trigger shot. Walk us through when you go back for the IUI. What's that process like?
Yep. So they would schedule it for me in the morning so that I could go home that same day and didn't have to miss as much work, which was great.
Yeah.
We would go to the lab where Chase would have to do his sperm sample. And then it was about an hour and a half wait for them to wash the sperm. And so we would walk over to Starbucks and we'd get our breakfast. And it was this little routine we had. Yeah. We'd eat our breakfast and have our coffee. And then the lab would call us. And we'd pick it up and they'd bring this nice little black cooler out to him that he had to sign and say it was his. And I checked, he checked, the lab checked. Then we would drive over to the fertility clinic because they weren't in the same building at the time. And then we'd check in. I would go back and the doctor would make sure it was Chase's sperm. And then they would essentially, 5 minutes of, they'd insert and I'd sit there for 10 minutes and then they'd say, okay, you can go on your way now.
It really is that simple. Like we build it up so much in our heads, but it really is that simple.